circumstances of life, good or bad.
A drifter is one who permits himself.
Now, the vast majority, approximately 95% of the people of all countries, go around and around without aim or purpose. They drift with the circumstances of life, good or bad.
A drifter is one who permits himself to be influenced and controlled by circumstances outside of his own mind.
Whereas the successful individuals create their own circumstances and ride them to victory.
When you're on purpose, you're living on purpose, you will never quit if you have a real purpose.
A burning desire to be and to do is the starting point from which the dreamer must take off. But what I have done has been recorded, it's been tested, it's being taken to a free world, and it's going to benefit millions of people who are not yet born.
And it's going to benefit millions of people who are not yet born. We're some of those people that we're spreading this to the world. As your awareness grows, the doubt is gone so that you can manifest whatever it is your heart desires. Isn't that beautiful? Welcome, everyone. Good morning. It's so good to be here. So good to be back with you all. I'm so happy to see you and be with you and just be in your energy. And we're going to get started today. Troy is traveling. So what we're doing is this week, for some of you, most of you know already, but we have our big event this week, our big launch event here in New York City. And we have over 100 people that have flown in from all over the world. Our coaches, our founding Napoleon Hill Institute coaches are here in New York. So there's a lot going on right now. And so people are traveling. We're getting ready to go celebrate and do some training this week. So a few of the days this week, the schedule will change, okay? But we'll be here every day at 10 a.m. Somebody will be here so we can continue to go through the science of personal achievement. So how are you all doing? You doing good? Doing amazing? Yes, good. Happy Monday. You know, we woke up this morning. That alone is a beautiful reason to be grateful, isn't it? We woke up this morning. You know, when you think about gratitude, I call it, we must sometimes have micro gratitude. Micro gratitude is when you are grateful for the little things that we take for granted, right? Like waking up. We woke up, we're here, we're healthy. And there's many people would love to be you right now. Do you know that? There's many, many people would love to be in your shoes right now. And that's when you get on the frequency of gratitude, micro gratitude. Like I almost tear up when I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. That's the frequency that we should live on. We must create the habit of living on that frequency. And I know sometimes life gets going and we don't sit in that frequency of gratitude, but I want you to practice it today. I want you to remember micro gratitude. When you take a drink of water, I have micro gratitude today. I have micro gratitude. I even have a chair. Wow, I have a chair. You know, just the little things that we take for granted. So today, let's practice micro gratitude, okay? You with me? Yes, awesome. All right, we're going to get into a beautiful meditation and we're going to get into the spirit and we're going to continue our beautiful study. And welcome anybody that's new. Welcome to NHI. I am truly, truly full of micro gratitude. All right, let's get comfortable. Close your eyes, get into a comfortable position, and really take this moment for you. This is for you. This is for me. This is for us to start the day so we can get into a a brain and heart coherence, and have a beautiful day on this frequency. My friends, get into a comfortable position, and we're going to gently close your eyes. If you're new to meditation, that's okay. Just go with it and relax. Okay? Close your eyes. And let's take a big deep breath in, and we're going to hold for 4. Hold. Release. Release for 4. Another deep breath in. Hold. Release. Just breathe out whatever doesn't belong to you today. Breathe it out. Another deep breath in. Hold. Release. Breathe out. Now I'm going to invite you to gently put your hand on your heart. You can put your whole hand over your heart. You can put 2 fingers, whatever it is feels right to you. We're going to shift our attention from our brain to our heart. Just feel that connection right now to your beautiful heart. Your heart is supporting you all day. Heart will give you answers. Just touch your heart. We're going to take another deep breath in. Hold. Release. Release. Another deep breath in. Hold. Release. Now we're going to talk to our heart. We're going to connect to our heart. I'm going to start with gratitude. My heart. Repeat after me, inwards or outwards. My heart. I thank you for my strength. My heart. I thank you for my health. My heart. I thank you for the love that you provide for me and for others. My heart. I care for others. I have compassion for others. My heart. Thank you for guiding me. My heart. Thank you for the love that you supply me with. Feel the connection to your heart. Feel the love that radiates from your heart to all of your body, through all of your body, through your neighbors on this call. I want you to now project your love energy to anywhere in your body that needs support. I want you to project that love onto the part of your body that needs the energy of your love. Now I want you to turn that love energy towards forgiveness. And I want you to say, my heart, thank you for your love. I forgive. I forgive myself. I forgive others. I forgive the past, because I am not my past. My heart, thank you for the forgiveness, for the love, and for the healing you bring to me and to others. I give my word that from this day forward, I will connect to you, my heart. And I will ask for guidance. And I will love myself. I love myself very much. And from this day forward, I will remember who I am. My heart, I love you, and I am grateful. Thank you for always being there for me. Thank you. And a big smile, just connect to your heart and feel that love energy from your own heart. It's with you always, radiating, supporting, loving, lifting you up all day long. If you ever forget, put your hand on your heart and remember who you are. Now take a big deep breath in. Hold. Feel the connection. Now release. Release. Thank you. Whenever you're ready, I want you to bring back your awareness to the room and open your eyes slowly. Back into the space together with all these beautiful souls. That was beautiful. Well done. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So beautiful. And when we meditate, we connect with infinite intelligence, with God, with Source, universe, whatever you believe in. Did anyone feel the connection? Yes? Yes. Good. Beautiful. Okay, so let's recap on what we've been going over. And I'm just going to recap a little bit on the Mastermind Alliance and our guides that Napoleon has used, and he's created beautiful guides, and he calls upon them as needed. And this is what we're doing, and this is what we can do. So let's just recap, and I'll pull it up on the screen here. Our invisible guides. We get to choose. Isn't that beautiful that we get to choose? I always think about it like we can call upon this invisible army as needed. We literally can call upon an invisible army when we want, when we need it most. I think it's so special. Okay, so I'm going to go to page 35 of the journal. If you have your journal, great. Bring it, pull it up and go to page 35. And if not, I will just put it on the screen here for those that don't have it. And we can read together as well. Okay. So let's just recap the 5 factors of a mastermind, of the mastermind principle. One is the mastermind is the means by which we obtain the full benefits of the experience, training, education, and specialized knowledge of other individuals, just as if their minds were all one zone. This is so powerful. Number 2, the mastermind is an effective alliance of 2 or more minds in a spirit of perfect harmony for the attainment of a shared objective. Perfect harmony, which stimulates each individual's mind to a higher degree of courage. Courage. I need my people. I don't know about you, but when we're alone for too long, you feel it. Don't you feel it? Especially during the pandemic when we were forced to be alone and be home. But when we're around our people, you feel it. You feel your courage raise. So let's go back. Number 2, the mastermind alliance, active alliance of 2 or more minds in the spirit of perfect harmony for the attainment of a shared objective, which stimulates each individual's mind to a higher degree of courage than that what is ordinarily experienced, and enables each individual to access the knowledge from the other's minds and from infinite intelligence that is not available under any other circumstance. This is true. This is true. It is true. You've heard when 2 or more are gathered in my name. This is true. You will access information that you would not have access to if you were on your own. The power is multiplied. Number 3, a mastermind alliance properly conducted stimulates each mind in the group to move with enthusiasm and theos, possessed by God. And theos, enthusiasm. Personal initiative, that's a leader. A leader moves with personal initiative. Imagination, the imagination is the how, my dear. The imagination is the how. Everybody wants to know the how. It's in your imagination. Quite simple. And courage, to significantly greater degree than what is possible for an individual outside of such an alliance. Look at what happens when we're together, when we're properly conducting our mastermind alliance. Wow. We move with enthusiasm, personal initiative, imagination, and courage. Number 4, a mastermind alliance must be active to be effective. It must engage in the active pursuit of a definite purpose. Move with perfect harmony and do it continuously. While the members do not need to have the exact same objective, they must share an overreaching purpose and operate in a spirit of friendly harmony to obtain results. And I have seen people create masterminds and they were not consistent. They weren't consistent. And what happened? They fell apart. So it really is, it's a habit. It's a habit of being consistent. It's a habit of being consistent in everything you do. Consistency wins. Number 5, all individual achievement above mediocrity is attained through the mastermind principle, not by individual effort alone. Mediocrity. All individual achievement above mediocrity is attained through the mastermind principle, not by the individual effort alone. And the motives, let's go back to the motives for the Mastermind Alliance. There are 2 types of Mastermind Alliances. One is social or personal Mastermind Alliances, consisting of relatives, friends, and religious advisors where no material gain is sought. So there's nothing to do with material gain in the social or personal Mastermind Alliance. The chief among these of the Mastermind Alliance that can be formed in a marriage relationship. Number 2 is the business and professional Mastermind Alliances, consisting of individuals who have a personal motive of a material or financial nature connected with the object of the alliance. And so just with the show of hands, how many of you have number 1 Mastermind Alliance, the personal one, the social one? Some do, some don't. Okay. And what about the business and professional Mastermind Alliance? Have you created one? Show me with a show of hands. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, good. So I recommend we have both. I recommend we have both because when you have your personal and social alliance, you don't want to be talking about business, right? And I don't think your family or your friends really wanted to talk about that anyways. And this is more to do with your well-being, the love of your family, your friends, having fun, right? So I would highly recommend you have both. And just think about it today. Who are those people? Who would you ask to be in your alliance if you haven't already? And then a mastermind with yourself. If a mastermind consists of more than one mind working in harmony to achieve a definite end, is it possible to have a mastermind with yourself? While it is not possible in the primary sense in which the mastermind principle is conceived and applied, it is possible to harness the workings of the 6th sense or the creative imagination to partner with your invisible guides to achieve your goals. As Hill says, your hardest problem is to get yourself under control and keep yourself under control. This is true. Invisible guides are one mechanism for cultivating self-discipline through the mastermind principle. So let's just recap on our invisible guides. So this is page 35 in the workbook. Applying the mastermind principle to this process, Hill created his invisible guides, imaginary beings to whom he assigned a responsibility to carry out the day and night without his bidding. He just outsourced it. Good. It's like so genius. He outsourced these departments of his life. He outsourced. And it just takes such a weight off us, doesn't it? When you think of it this way. The guide to sound physical health, The Guide to Financial Prosperity, A Guide to Peace of Mind, A Guide to Hope, A Guide to Faith, A Guide to Love, A Guide to Romance, A Guide to Patience, A Guide to Wisdom. A rolling ambassador responsible for all the things not specifically assigned to the other 9 guides, whom Hill named Norm Hill, which was a combination of his wife's maiden name and his own last name. How beautiful is that, that he included his wife? I think it's so beautiful. Do you like that, Albert? Yeah. Who's your rolling ambassador?
Well, I hadn't really thought of that until just now. Would you
Okay.
be my rolling ambassador?
Okay. You have to give it a name.
Cleona Whale.
Cleo Whale.
Cleona Whale.
There you go. There she is. She's been born. She's going to watch out.
Watch out, Cleona.
Watch out, Cleo Whale. There you go. I love it. So we do the same. This is for you. This is all for you. You decide. You decide the name. And you call upon them as needed. Okay? So let's go back to the book now. We're going to go to the page 34. At the bottom of page 34, I believe this is where Troy left off. And if he didn't, that's okay. We keep going. Okay. So page 34 of our book at the bottom, where he goes on to talk about the next 2 guides. The next 2 are also twins, the guides to love and romance. And when I speak of love, I speak of that great emotion in its wildest and broadest, most divine application. I'm in love with love. Who's in love with love? Right? But it's the top 3. When you communicate with infinite intelligence, when you want to manifest, the universe doesn't know the language of words. The universe, yes, the universe knows the language of emotion and the heart. This is the language it speaks, just like a radio broadcast. When sound, there's a process called stepping up. Okay, that's how a radio works. The sound is scrambled, it's stepping up, it's scrambled, it's moved into a different frequency, a different vibration, and then it's stepped down, and then it transmutes itself into the other side of the radio so we can hear it. It's the same with the universe. Only the universe and God, the language is love. The language is emotion. Faith, love, and sex. Those are the 3 emotions that the universe and God understands. So the next 2 are the guides to love and romance. And when I speak of love, I speak of the great emotion in its wildest and broadest and most divine application. Love and romance. I can find romance in everything that crosses my path, whether it's pleasant or unpleasant. Wow. Like really imagine being at that awareness and using your perception to look at any circumstance and find romance in it. Ooh, let's do that today. Let's find romance in everything. Let's play with that today. I'm going to have fun with that. Are you? Okay, who's going to play with romance today? Okay, good. Yes. I love it. I love it. I love it. Even me talking about it, I better have to calm down because my imagination's very developed. Michelle's laughing. Ah, love and romance. I can find romance in everything that crosses my path, whether it's pleasant or unpleasant. If it's unpleasant, I romance the idea that I'll find the seed of equivalent benefit and make use of it. Love, what a marvelous thing it is to have a feeling of love in your heart. I have been accused of carrying this emotion to the extremes of some occasions, but I don't think so. Oh, that makes sense now, Napoleon, because me and you, I think I'm the same. For instance, Mrs. Hill and I were driving out in the mountains of California about 10 years ago. We saw on the side of the road an enormous rattlesnake, coiled and ready to strike. My wife said, "Hit it, hit it." Well, I didn't hit it. I wheeled around and I entirely bypassed it. She asked, "Why didn't you hit it?" I said, "My dear, the reason I didn't hit it, it's on its own ground, attending to its own business." And that's exactly what you and I are going to do. We're not going to kill something that doesn't concern us. And that's the attitude I take toward a rattlesnake or anything else. If it doesn't try to bother me or my friends, I don't bother it. In other words, I've changed my whole attitude, not only towards other people, but towards every living creature on the face of the earth. And it's true when you, as your awareness grows and you understand who we really are, you will never want to hurt any living creature, even, like a bug or whatever. I can't do that. I would not be able to sleep if I killed a bug or something creepy crawly, right? It's just the way it is when you understand. I'm not as extreme as one of the professors at Harvard University. When I was lecturing there in 1922, I made the acquaintance of one of the professors who I thought was quite a nut. We were walking one evening in a swampy section of the campus where mosquitoes were in abundance. One of them lit on his hand and began to pour into his skin. I reached over and hit it and he said, "Oh, don't hit that. He's got to live too." I said, "You better not let your mosquito get over on my hand, Professor, because I'll sure slap him down." The next one is lately acquired member of my imaginary family. He is the guide to patience. And I know a lot of people who do not use this guide very much. Patience, one of our virtues. I acquired that during the past 10 years with experiences that required a lot of patience. That's one thing I can count that I got out of those 10 years that have been beneficial. Patience. Patience enables you to time things properly. Not just to plant a seed today and then go back tomorrow and dig it up to see whether it's going to germinate or not. If you plant your seed in faith in the right kind of soil at the right time of year, and you know that the seed is good, you can forget about it because nature takes over at that point. This is it. This is how it works. Your job is to plant the seed at the right time, in the right place, in the right kind of soil. And it's none of your business when it's going to germinate. Knowing that nature and God will take care of it. This is where when people want their gold so bad, I want my gold, oh, I want it so bad. It's not going to happen. You have to let go. It's the letting go when it arrives. You let go in faith. As long as you did your part, you did the work, you showed up, you had the right attitude, you had the right heart of service, you had the right intention, because the universe knows your intentions. God knows why you're doing everything. You can't fool the universe. You can't fool God. And that's planting it in the right soil. Because all of your intentions will manifest. And then you let go. Let go, let God. And it all works beautifully every time. And that's why patience is so important. Right, Genevieve? She knows. She had a manifestation recently when she finally had a little bit of patience. She had two. Oh, if we have time, I'm going to bring you up at the end to share. Okay. Yes. And so for every seed of wheat that you put in the ground under the proper circumstances, nature will bring you back 500 or 600 grains to compensate you for your intelligence. And it works on other plants as well. You see, I believe what comes back to us, the volume that comes back to us, is also measured by our measure of faith. That's my personal experience. The more you have faith and let go, the higher level of faith you develop, the more the bounty comes back more. I'm telling you, this is how I've experienced it. And your faith is tested. How is our faith tested? It's tested by our thoughts, our actions. So we could be doing the work. We can be showing up, taking action, taking steps towards our goals. But if we're always thinking about, oh, I don't know if this is going to work. Oh, how's this possible? Oh, I don't know if I can do. I believe that's our test. And the more you sit in doubt and worry, the less the reward is, because you're not living and acting in faith. It's not applied faith. And when you don't have patience, you don't have faith. Because you want it in your time. You want it in your time. Oh, ye of little faith. You want it your time. I want it now. I did the work. Where is it? I want it now. Where is it? But I did this and I did that. That is not an act of faith. It's the opposite. I'm so passionate about faith. I'm so passionate about it. And for every seed of wheat that you put in the ground under proper circumstances, nature will bring you back 500 or 600 grains to compensate you for your intelligence and your faith. And it works on other plants as well. Number 9 is the guide to overall wisdom. The guide's job is to keep me benefited by every experience that touches my life, whether it's good or bad, positive or negative. Everything that touches my life is grist for my meal. I love that. Grist for my meal. I'll make some use out of it. Even if it's an unpleasant experience, I try to surround myself with enough protection to see that the same thing won't happen again. And believe you me, we all need that kind of protection. I like to remember that very interesting Chinese proverb, which says, if a man injures me once, shame on him. If a man injures me twice, shame on me. I love that. You've heard that before, right? And the last of the 10 guides is my rolling ambassador, whose job is to do the things that have not been specifically assigned to the other 9. This is an interesting one His name is Norm Hill, or as my friend Albert is now, Cleo Whale. Norm Hill, a combination of my wife's maiden name and mine. As my rolling ambassador, his job is, for example, if I'm driving in the car downtown, nowadays in almost every city, it's difficult to find a parking spot. But I never have any trouble finding the parking spot because I send Norm Hill ahead. And he has a place cleared out for me by the time I get there. I love that. We've all done that. We just didn't give it a name, right? A couple of years ago, I was telling one of my neighbors about this Norm Hill fellow. And he said, well, isn't that interesting? I said, by the way, if I wanted to go to the bank on Friday afternoon when banks close at 1:00 and I only had a few minutes to get there and I didn't have enough time to go to the parking lot, which is 4 or 5 blocks away from the bank, I would send Norm Hill ahead. And when I got there, he'd have a place for me to park right in front of the bank. Well, my neighbor said, let's remind me, I have to go to the bank. Would you mind? Let me see how Norm Hill works. I said, hop in. We don't have much time. I drove pretty fast, and when we were in the front of the South Carolina National Bank, sure enough, there was no parking space. Both sides of the street were filled. I stopped my car about 3 car lengths back from the front of the bank. The neighbor said, aha, well, Norm Hill must have walked. And I noticed you drove pretty fast. I said, don't you worry about Norm Hill. He'll be here in good time. And within the time that you've been reading that story, a man came out of the bank, got into the car in the front of the bank and drove off. And another man came along and got into a car and pulled out. There were 2 spots available. I said, you see, one to compensate me for my intelligence and one to show you that you ought to think twice before you criticize Norm Hill. I love that. We've all done that, right? Right, Caroline? Other proof positive stories. I delivered a speech for W. Clement Stone's managers in Miami, Florida, and I had described for them, as I have described for you, my 10 invisible guides. When it got down to Norm Hill, you should have heard these men laugh. They thought it was so funny, terribly funny. And I would say within 6 months, every one of those men using the same plan. They were using the same plan. And not only were they using it in connection with getting minor things like a parking spot, they were sending their salesmen out under what's called a cold turkey, which is to say everybody they meet is a prospect. The salesman sent Norm Hill ahead to talk to the person they were going to interview and sell him or her before they ever met the person. This is so good. And especially for you that are, I'm sure all of you are in some kind of sales, right? We're always selling something if you have a business or an idea, you're a coach. They sent Norm Hill ahead to talk to the person they were going to interview and sell them before they were even met the person. That is astounding. When these salespeople first started that plan, they were earning an average of $175 to $200 a week. Within a year after that, they were averaging around $250 to $500 a week, entirely because Norm Hill had changed their mental attitude. Wow, look at that. You can do this. You can do this. So name yours today. Just like Albert did, name yours. Because Norm Hill had changed their mental attitude. And what is an attitude? Thoughts, feelings, and actions. It's an attitude. When they approached a prospect, they didn't hear the word no. They just kept on talking. Most salesmen know when someone is going to say no, even before they say it. We pick up their mental attitude and it reflects back to us as our own. But when we send Norm Hill out before us, we expect a yes. The affirmative attitude will exude from us and affect the prospect as well, because we are transmitting stations. Your feelings are being transmitted to the person's mind, to their brain, and you're a broadcasting station. So it would make sense for us to send out our invisible guide first to do the work for us, wouldn't it? Yes. And then we expect a yes, and your affirmative attitude will affect your prospect positively. I worked as a teller in a bank when I was a youngster, and I could tell when a man opened the front door and started towards my station whether he expected to get what he was coming for or not. This is so true and so important. So today you're gonna name your other guide, and you're going to play with romance. I want you to walk with romance today. Even if you're alone, walk with romance. Be in the energy of romance. Okay, let's have fun with it and see what happens. I bet you'll be surprised. I certainly could tell every time by the way he walked, the way he looked around briefly, and by his attempt to engage me in useless conversation. After he reached the counter and before he presented the check, all attempts to throw me off balance. You see, if you understand these principles that you're learning about, you can deal with people anywhere and anytime. We've just about conquered everything in the universe. We're trying to conquer outer space. We've about done everything we can do to uncover the powers of nature. But there's one yet unresolved object we have not attained, and that's how to live with one another. Isn't that amazing? One of the greatest benefits of this philosophy for you and those with whom you connect and the world around you is to teach people how to live with one another under the Mastermind principle. So you and they will have more joy in living. They, like you, will have more prosperity, better health, and will make this world in which a better world to live in. Stories about successful application of the Mastermind principle are many, including the following. Right after the close of World War I, a young ex-soldier who had fought in that war came into my office and asked me to help him find a job. He said all he wanted was a place to sleep and something to eat. Well, if I ever saw a man who was willing to settle with life for a penny, he was the man. So I accepted him as a challenge to my own ability to lift up people from low places to high places in the world. For 2 hours, I worked on this young man until I caused him to raise his sight and aim not for mere meal ticket, but for wealth and great abundance. And this is, I would recommend the same to all of you on this call. Aim for wealth in great abundance. The more you have, the more you can serve and give. The whole purpose of becoming wealthy is to share it and create with it. And obviously live a good life for yourself, live a beautiful life, have all your needs met, and then share it. Do you know the joy in being able to give to people? The joy in being able to give to others, the joy in being able to share the wealth and serve those that don't have. There's no other greater feeling, in my opinion. There's no other greater feeling. I knew then, as I know now, that no one has the right to seek great wealth or anything else without giving something of an equal value in return. This is why when I worked for Bob Proctor, he always said, Cleona, people shouldn't have a goal to win the lottery. That's not a good goal. And I used to tell people that, and they used to get mad at me when I say that's not a good goal. During my 2-hour talk with this younger former soldier, I took complete inventory of everything he had to give in return for great wealth. And as you may be surprised when I tell you how very little that was. I discovered that during his army experience, he had learned to cook, and prior to his entry into the army, he had successfully sold brushes from house to house. So I went to work with these two meager assets, and molded them into a plan whereby the young man began selling aluminum cookware by a very unique method. He would go into a neighborhood, select the most suitable housewife, and encourage her to invite her neighboring housewives to a free dinner, which the young man cooked on his special cookware. It's kind of like what, those at-home parties now that they do. They bring makeup, they bring different products. That's what he was doing. After the meal was served, he made appointments with the guests to call at their homes and talk to them about purchasing his wares. He became so efficient at selling by the smell method that he sold an average of 50% of all the guests who attended the dinner. I took him to my home and provided him with a room and his meals while he was getting started in his business. Then I guaranteed payment for his first purchase of the aluminum cookware, and to give him the necessary personal appearance he needed as a salesman. I gave him permission to use my charge account at a local department store. I also gave him a small amount of pocket money, which he needed for car fare and the like. My total outlay before this man could go ahead on his own was only a few $100s. He remained at my house for a month and then moved into another neighborhood. I saw him only intermittently during the following year. After that, I heard nothing of him for 3 years, until one day he walked into my office and announced that he'd return to pay up for what I had done for him. And he said, I wish to pay you back the money you advanced me. In addition, I wish to give you the sum of money of any amount that you name as a token for my appreciation for what you did for me at a time when I had no right to such help from a mere stranger. And then he pulled bank deposit books from his pockets. He must have had at least 50 different bank accounts in many different cities. Wow. Look at that. How much do they all represent in money? I inquired. Well, a little over 4 million. And that was back then. Think about it. And then he handed me a blank check that he had signed and said, fill it out to whatever amount you wish, and I will see to it that it doesn't bounce. Wow. My first impulse was to hand him back his check and tell him I had already been repaid by discovering such an honest young man. Wow. But then I recognized that he had come back to see me with full intention of giving me a dramatic demonstration of the power of the mastermind principle I had so successfully used in his behalf. So I did not feel like taking the wind out of his sails by refusing to accept money, so I filled the check for $10,000. I love that story. I love it. I love it. I love it. And it just reminds me of, we never forget the people that put their hand out, that gave us the start. And we always, and it's by law, we must go and give back by law. So think about it. Is there anybody in your life today that's given to you? Yes, hand in. Yeah, yeah. So let's make a plan to give back to that person or those people. Okay? And I know there's plenty of people have given me a hand. And it's like I keep a ledger in my mind that I know who's given to me. I know that I owe. This is the scales. This is the scales of balance when you work with universal law. You'll know if it's off balance. You'll know if you were taking too much. You'll know. And you'll know you must give back. And you'll get really good at it. You'll get really good at it. Okay? So think about who can you give back to? Who gave you a hand up? And what can you do to serve them in return? Okay? I'm going to bring up, because I just want to hear from Genevieve. I want to hear her. I want you to hear her story, because we talked about the guide of patience. And I would love to bring you up as well, Genevieve. Come on up, love. Hi.
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 Hi, everybody. I'm a speaker, so I wanted to manifest 3 speaking engagements. And I had my parameters and all that, and I wanted them to be in 1 week. I already had one, Cleona, you know about that, this weekend. Then literally a few days later, I got a call and got booked for one in August in Orlando, which I was thrilled about. And I think the next day I got called and I really wanted this job. It was just in New Jersey. I'm in New York, so it's not even a flight, but there was an engagement I had the same evening and theirs is in the afternoon. So I said, come on, this has to be my number 3. And they worked it out. They said, we will will change the schedule so you can go on first. We'll pick you up in a car. We'll make sure you get on time. We'll make sure you get out on time and you get to your evening engagement back in Manhattan. And it worked out.
Wow, Genevieve, you see?
And I was impatient. I was nervous. I just wanted
Yes.
it to work out. I really was. And I know that there was a third person involved who I invited to be involved, and I started to second guess, should I have asked that person to represent me? And then Mario on the call had said, you know, Jen, if you invite someone in, you have to let the universe, let that person do their part.
Yes.
And I kept thinking I could have done it quicker. I could have gotten an answer quicker if I didn't invite this person in. And then I thought about what Mario and you were saying. And I said to myself, Mario's right. I invited this person. Let me relax. And that person did a great job and it worked out.
So it was, just so you understand, we were on a coaching call like 2 weeks ago, and Genevieve had invited an agent in to help her get these speaking gigs, but she wasn't patient and I could sense it from her. And I'm like, she's not patient. It's not going to happen. But after that call, you remembered what Mario said and you made a decision to let go. Can you talk about that process? It's very important people understand how this works.
Yes, it was a light bulb. It was a light bulb that went off. You know, first you talked me off the ledge, and that was great. And then when I was second guessing to both of you and to all the people on the call, you know, that I've always done it myself, and I know I can do it, and I know I can do it quickly. But there are upsides to having an agent represent you, obviously, and so this was new for me. And I did invite him in, and even though I was second guessing it, it was a light bulb that went off when both of you and Mario said, you have to let him have his place in this, let the universe give him this time.
Yes.
And it really, I really even said to someone, you know, I was just on this call and this is what someone told me, and it really made sense. It went right to my heart. And I said, okay, I did. I have to accept that I was guided to him. I was guided here to this call, and they changed the schedule so that I could do it. And it was great.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Isn't it great?
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations. So now this is so important for you so we're all creating our own methods of how this works. Okay. So Genevieve, if I was you, I would get a little book, and you can call it My Method. And you, like a little notepad, a little small one, and you have your own formula, and you write down this process, what just happened, write down how you felt, what you were thinking, and then what changed, what was the trigger that changed, and how did you then manifest the 3 that you asked for. So you always go back to that and you'll remember. So if you are not practicing patience again, Genevieve, call upon your invisible guide, remember what we said, go to your little book, and you do it again.
Mhm.
And it always works.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's so hard for us to let go. I think everybody has been there. It's so hard, especially when you feel like you're the one that's always been in control. It's
Okay,
so
now
hard. Even
it's
to
not
let
hard.
God do it. It's hard.
It's not hard.
Okay, it's not hard. It's not hard. I'm learning every day.
It's
easier every day.
easy. It's easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's fun.
Yes. Change the language.
Change it to play. I'm playing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to play with these laws, and I'm going to have fun.
Yeah.
And I'm going to let it go. Yeah.
Right.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hmm.
I have to message you, by the way. I'll message you after.
Okay.
Okay. Congratulations.
Thank
you. And then let's see what time. Oh, we're over. Okay. So let's all unmute ourselves. And before we do that, today we're going to play with romance.
Mm.
Okay. Look at Ahmed. Ahmed's like, and I have good news. Ahmed's going to be teaching tomorrow. Are you ready, Ahmed? Yes. You're gonna run the 10 o'clock session. I'll come on with you, but you're doing it.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
Awesome. Beautiful. All right. So we will be back tomorrow. Everyone, what is the magic words?
Application.
Application.
Lovely application.
Lovely application. Have an amazing day. See you all tomorrow. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Love you all.
Bye-bye.
Go have a romantic day, my friends. Be in love with yourself and everybody and everything. Okay. Bye. Bye.